If you're renting right now in Georgetown or you're considering renting instead of buying, let's have a real talk about the numbers. 5 years of paying $2,500 a month in rent adds up to $150,000 that you've spent for a place to live. And when you rent, that money is just gone. You don't get it back. It's just the cost of. Here's what a lot of people may not realize, and it's that same payment could have you building over $150,000 in home equity in that same 5-year span. And likely you'll be in a home that fits your needs a lot more than the home that you're renting right now. Plus, you don't have to worry about losing your deposit for putting a tiny hole in the wall just because you wanted to hang a picture. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how the numbers play out. Some real examples, some real homes, so you can see how renting versus owning a home in Georgetown, Texas really stacks up. I hesitated to make this video because I know that there are a lot of people who are just diehard renters. They want to rent, they really don't want to buy, and they have their reasons for it. So I understand that. I'm making this video to maybe cause you to think a little bit about the wealth building that buying a home of your own actually creates. And if you want to do it, how you can. So I know you've heard before that whole rent is like throwing money away speech. But here's the thing. A lot of people say they like the convenience of renting, and they use that as a reason not to buy a home. And it's valid. I'm going to address that in a minute. But the fact is, if you're renting in Georgetown right now, you are really missing out on an opportunity to build wealth for yourself and your family and your future. And that's something that's important to just about everyone. So let's run the numbers and talk about it. Let's say you rent a home in Georgetown at $2,500 a month. That's pretty average for a nice 3-bedroom rental around the Georgetown area. Over the course of 5 years, you will have spent $150,000 in rent. Now, that money gave you a place to live, but it didn't build anything for you. There's no equity, there's no tax benefits, there's no appreciation. It just paid off your landlord's mortgage. And there's also the reality that rent prices typically do go up every year. They're not usually going down, every once in a while, but most of the time they're going up. So you're at the mercy of those yearly rent hikes and all the lease restrictions that you have. Now let's go ahead and flip the script. That same $2,500 a month could comfortably get you into a $400,000 to $450,000 home in Georgetown, Texas. Depending on the property taxes and your down payment, that's assuming 20% down, 5.5% rate. Yes, you can get that rate right now. Hit me up if you don't know how, and I'll show you. Now, fast forward 5 years, you're not just handing over that $150,000 to a landlord. You've actually paid down about $100,000 in principal on your mortgage. And if we're being conservative and we assume around 3% yearly home appreciation, that's another $60,000 added to the $100,000. So while your renting burns through $150,000 and leaves you with nothing to show for it, owning is going to build over $160,000 in wealth in the same time frame, that same 5 years. Let's look at it visually. You rent for 5 years, that's $150,000 spent, zero in equity. You own for 5 years, that's $150,000 spent, and $160,000 in equity. Okay, that sounds great, right? But keeping it real here, buying a home obviously does come with upfront costs, and that is what stops a lot of people from buying a home. And you don't have those when you're renting. The biggest one, of course, is your down payment. That may be 5%, maybe 10%, maybe 20%. It's money that you're investing into your home right out of the gate, right up front. And yes, the amount that you put down also affects your monthly payment. The more you can put down, the lower your monthly payment. But here's the thing, that down payment that you're investing in your home, you're not throwing that money away. You're building your ownership stake in your home from day one. You're investing your money. So if you're putting money aside for retirement, you're investing your money. You're not throwing that money away. It's there for you later. So the same thing when you're putting a down payment on a house, you're investing in a home. So if you have that mindset shift, that you're investing this portion of money now into your home, into an appreciable asset, it's going to pay dividends to you. So while renting is going to leave you with zero at the end of 5 years, owning means that you're growing that down payment that you've invested into $160,000 in equity or more, depending on the appreciation of your home. And if you're thinking, Lori, there's up years, there's down years, appreciation isn't always the same. I realize that. I've been a realtor for 25 years. So I've seen the up years, I've seen the down years. But historically, the up years are way more than the down years. So that's where we get that average appreciation. And if you're thinking, yeah, that's great, but I don't have a huge pile of cash saved up for my down payment, and I'm not winning the lottery, don't get discouraged. You don't have to put 20% down on a home. There are loan programs with down payments as low as 3.5%. And if you're a veteran, a VA loan lets you buy with zero money down. Yes, zero money down, no down payment. There are also ways that you can borrow from your retirement account to use part of those funds for a down payment on a home. Maybe you can set aside your tax refund, if you get one, every year into an account that's going to grow a little bit and build that fund for your down payment. So there are ways that you can strategize and come up with a plan to get you where you want to be. Buying has those upfront costs. I'm not pretending that they don't exist. I'm just highlighting the fact that the money that you put in is building something for you, not just disappearing into your landlord's pocket. Now, beyond just wealth building, let's talk about the everyday stuff that actually affects your life when you're owning versus renting. When you own your home, you get to call the shots. You want to paint your walls black? Go for it. Your kid wants a hot pink bedroom? Go for it. You want a big goofy dog that your landlord's pet policy would have never approved for you? Done. There are no breed restrictions when you own your home. There's also the sense of security that you get when you own your home, because you're not packing up every year, every couple of years because your lease is up or your rent just jumped $400 a month, or your landlord wants to sell the house and now you have to move. You get to put down roots. You get to build relationships with your neighbors and feel like you're part of a community instead of just passing through. Okay, and before you say, but I don't want to deal with repairs, I like to just call my landlord. I hear you. Nobody likes dealing with repairs. But here's the thing. In Georgetown right now, there are over 200 brand new homes in that $400,000 to $450,000 price range. Brand new homes. We're talking new appliances. We're talking builder warranties. We're talking appliance warranties. Everything under your roof is brand new. So you're not going to be dealing with those typical homeowner headaches for years and years and years. And instead of building your landlord's wealth, you're building your own wealth. Well, you get to live where you want and how you want. All right. I know some of you might be thinking, Lori, owning a home also comes with a lot of other things like property taxes, insurance, maintenance. It's just not this simple. And you're right, but here's the thing. Those extra costs don't cancel out the wealth that you're building, that $160,000 in equity. Let's run through it. First of all, let's talk about property taxes. So yes, in Georgetown, that could be 2.5% of your purchase price, depending on the neighborhood you're in per year. But you're paying those property taxes in your monthly mortgage payment. It's part of that $2,500 a month payment, just like your $2,500 a month rent. So it's not in addition to the $2,500, it's part of. It's not an extra expense. Home insurance, let's call it $150 a month. Again, not an additional cost, not an additional expense. It's part of your mortgage payment. So you're still at $2,500 a month. Maintenance. Okay, sure. You're going to want to budget for the occasional repair. Maybe $100 a month set aside for that. And if you buy one of those brand new homes that I just told you about, you can expect really low maintenance since everything's going to be brand new. But even after you factor in your maintenance and repairs, you're still building so much equity with every mortgage payment. It far exceeds the small amount of repairs that you may need to do. Where with rent, you're paying some of those same expenses indirectly. You're just covering them for your landlord. Well, you're building zero wealth for yourself. And keep in mind, when you do own your home, when you put money into your home for a repair or maybe an upgrade, you're adding value to an asset. You're not fixing up someone else's property so they can turn around and then raise the rent next year. So yes, owning a home, it does come with responsibilities, but it also gives you control, and it's control that's really going to pay you back in the long run. And one last thing that people tend to forget when they compare renting versus owning, let's talk about tax savings, because when you own a home, you get some pretty decent tax advantages. The mortgage interest that you pay is tax deductible. Your property taxes, also deductible up to certain limits. It may not feel like a huge game changer in your month-to-month budget, but when tax season rolls around, it's absolutely going to help. So for a lot of people, it means a lower taxable income and a bigger refund. When you're renting, none of that comes into play. Your landlord gets the tax write-offs. You get a rent receipt. Owning does have its costs, but it also comes with perks that renters simply don't get. So if you're renting in Georgetown, Texas, and you're thinking, well, that stings a little bit. I get it. It's frustrating when it's not broken down for you. If you've been thinking about buying, but you're not sure how it would all pencil out for you in your situation, like what the payments would be, what the taxes would be, what kind of homes are even available, I'm happy to have a quick chat with you and kind of go through the numbers in your situation. I've been doing this for 24 years and I've helped a lot of families figure this out. Sometimes the answer is, hell yes, we can do this. Sometimes it's not the right time. Either way, it's good to know where you stand. So I have a link below if you want to grab a quick time for a chat with me. We can take a look at what's out there, see what makes sense for you. If you found this video helpful to see the rent versus own picture just a little clearer, please hit like, subscribe, drop any questions you have in the comments. I answer every one of them. Thanks for watching. Take care.